Okay, hello YouTube. This is part 2 of the Everlast PowerPlasma 50 that I bought. If any of you have watched my previous videos, you'll know that I have an Everlast iMig 200. Based on my experience with that, I highly recommend that you guys open these things up. And in this case, that was the case for my iMig. I needed to snug down some screws, stuff like this, and just address a couple of things as far as just snugging things down. They're Chinese built machines. You're paying significantly less for them than you would a Miller or Lincoln or anything of that nature. So I guess that's kind of the trade-off. Unfortunately it is, but I'm willing to sacrifice that. So anyways, this machine's no different from the iMig 200 that I bought. I needed to open it, and I discovered right away what that was. There was a screw just floating around in there. Something about like that. Don't know where it goes. I don't see a spot. It could potentially just be something during assembly that they dropped and couldn't find, grabbed another one, put it in place, and thought the thing fell on the floor, and it didn't. It was still rolling around inside the case. So, and I've looked everywhere in here to see if I could find an empty spot where that would go, and I don't see it. So, yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna remove it like I did, and it looks to me like everything was snug. There was nothing loose like on my iMig, but there was that screw rolling around in there, which could have caused some problems. Could have easily shorted something out by rolling around and touching the wrong things. So, in part 1, I talked about the air filter. This. If you look here, in the part 1 was the unboxing, you have this little arrow right here that shows the direction of the airflow. This is the inlet from your compressor. This hose, it's got a barb fitting that you screw in here. These fittings have little O-rings on them. So we're going to see if they seal by themselves. If not, I'm going to back them out and put some plumbing tape on them. But just a hose clamp holds that. The other end of the hose goes on to this barb fitting down here with another hose clamp. Okay, that seems tight. The hose in here's got some pretty good quality clamps on it. Comes up in here, all of this hose system, regulators right there. They all got good, quality clamps on them. And yeah, that part looks fine to me. But something that I mentioned in the unboxing was this particular bolt right here. This bolt, in another video that I seen on YouTube, the guy had to cut it, because if you look here, it hangs over the top of whatever that is, and I can't get my camera to focus, so I apologize. There we go, kind of. It hangs over there. Well, his hole apparently was drilled a little bit lower than mine is, because mine is actually above it. His went right into it. I'm actually probably not going to mess with mine. I'm not gonna mess with it at all, because it is over the top of it, and it's going to have some washers and stuff between here, so it's probably not even going to be anywhere close to it. But that was one thing that I mentioned. So if you do get this PowerPlasma 50, open the case. Make sure everything's good. Something like that is a real easy fix. It's going to save you a ton of time and headaches shipping this thing back to the manufacturer. I seen, actually, if you look right here, I see another problem. This. That wasn't plugged in right. So stuff like that. You're talking about a Chinese factory that's trying to hit quota marks and get stuff done as quickly as possible, and I know they tested the machine, so I know it works. I can tell that they tested it based on the wire, the cable here, the power cable, and also the nozzle on the gun. and you can tell that it's been used before. So, but just stuff like that could potentially cause problems later. You know, make sure all those things are pushed in properly. You know, don't start touching things that aren't something that like this. You know, don't be grabbing that. I don't know what that is, but it could shock you. So just be careful and just kind of glance over it for a little while and make sure nothing's missing. Make sure everything's intact before you power this thing up. Make sure all like your connections over here are tight. And if everything's good, put it back together and power it up and see how it works. So as of right now, other than that and the screw that was rolling around in here, everything looks okay. So my next video will be me trying to power this thing up and see how it works. But let me show you this real quick. This bracket goes on here. Now I've already screwed this down in this part. Don't do that first. I just did it so I don't lose the screws. The bracket needs to be screwed to the case here and then the filter to that. Otherwise you won't ever get your screwdriver in there. No, you might be able to, but it'll just be easier so you're not fighting it. But yeah, that's it. Talk to you guys later. Subscribe, comment, like. Again, there's a link to Everlast page where this is sold, and also a link to my Facebook page. Show your support. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.